I want to congratulate all the award winners. Each of you certainly were thinking, dreaming, and being big over the last year, which was the theme of our conference this year in Dallas. And certainly appropriate, particularly for a company like yours that is experiencing so much tremendous growth. And welcome to all the new agents. If you haven't been to IBC, new agents and anybody, you have got to go. We're going to talk a little bit about IBC this morning. It's truly a unique experience. It was the theme, and really appropriate for this company, and appropriate for the brand. This brand is experiencing some tremendous momentum. So let me start with this. Let me give you a little background on ERA as a brand. Today we're in 44 states, 33 countries all across the world. We have 2,400 offices worldwide. And we have the distinction, and that includes 36,000 sales associates worldwide. So you're part of this growing, vibrant brand that's an international brand. And one little fun fact, a little trivia fact that Ed can throw out for 50 bucks later, we have the distinction of having the largest single real estate office in the world. That's in Singapore. And in one office, we have 6,000 agents in one office in Singapore. They sit in cubes, shoulder to shoulder, and it works like a DMV, where you go up, you go get your marketing materials, you go get these forms, you go get those forms, and it is a tremendous operation. I think Dave had the opportunity to go visit with them last year, so he can share some stories about that operation. One of the other things I think you should know is, there are 86,000 brokerages in the U.S., and I found out yesterday from Eb and Tim that there are 400 in Winston-Salem alone. We had a great opportunity to visit with Eb yesterday in that beautiful new office in Winston-Salem. But one of the things that the industry does each year is they recognize the top brokerages all across the country. It's called the RealTrends 500. And ERA is a brand that's well represented in the RealTrends 500, as you can see. And there, if you look to right around the Charlotte, North Carolina area, you'll see Wilkinson ERA. You're not only one of the top brokerages in the company, as Ed mentioned and Ali mentioned earlier, you're one of the top brokerages in the ERA network. You're number 3 in terms of size and volume, but as Dave would remind me, you're number 1 with us. So, and I think after the conversation we had with Eb yesterday, we expect to see some dynamic growth continue for this company. So that's a little bit about the brand. As I mentioned, we just came off of IBC, and it was a tremendous event. We had about 1,600 agents from all across the country and all across the world join us in Dallas. Our theme was Dream, Think, and Be Big. We announced that next year we're going to Vegas. So, particularly the first timers. Now, keep in mind, there is learning, and there's sessions, and there's things that you have to attend, or that you'll want to attend. We're a little concerned about how we package that into a Vegas destination, right? But it's going to be a fantastic experience. During IBC, we have the chance to reconnect with our colleagues. We learn, we celebrate each other, we go through all of our award winners as a company, and certainly your company is very, very well represented among the best in the industry. We're also inspired. This year we had Mike Eruzione, who was the captain of the USA ice hockey team in 1980, which is renowned as the Miracle on Ice, when they famously dethroned the Russian machine and then went on to beat Finland in the final to win the gold medal. Fantastic, fantastic speaker, Mike Eruzione. So it's a fantastic event, and there I think you can see some of the representation from the Wilkinson team. So one other thing, but before I got up here, Dave mentioned to me that he would like us to award a free IBC registration to somebody in the room. So we're going to do a drawing, if you don't mind, Ev.
Yeah, we will.
Right?
We'll
do it
now, or at the end of your speech?
You guys want to do it now?
Yeah.
How are we going to do it?
Are you kidding me?
No.
Did we get everybody's business card?
Whoever wins just has to promise me to go to the general session.
You keep talking, and
Right?
I'll be back.
We've got wranglers that are going to go around the casinos and the show and pull you into the meetings. We've got event wranglers. So it is a fantastic event.
Hey, Chris, I'll tell you what. If you're going to give away a free package, what's the cost of the package right now?
It's something like $5.99.
$5.99. The value of this IBC convention package is $5.99. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If you're going to go ahead and give away the package, I'm going to give away the airfare.
All right.
We all need to go to Vegas, right? It's going to be at the Aria Resort Hotel. It is a fantastic facility.
They're doing your business.
So while we're pulling out our business cards, let me tell you a little bit about what we did in Dallas. And you know, being in Dallas, that's all right. I want to get everybody fired up to go to Vegas. I know. Being in Dallas, you know, reminded me of Will Rogers, right? I'm a Texas guy from San Antonio, so I've got a lot of Texas quotes. But one of the ones I like the best from the actor and comedian with Will Rogers was, even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. And I was thinking of that as we were going through our presentations in Dallas, because really no truer words have ever really been spoken, especially in real estate. And think about that, because today the pace of change in real estate is accelerating. Just in the last 10 years, think about the transformative change that we've gone through as realtors and as brokers in the industry. And it's change that's shaped by a new generation of home buyers and sellers. We've talked already about the impact of the millennials. Now keep in mind, this is a generation that's 90 million strong. It's the single largest generational cohort in the history of the U.S. And about half of those millennials are not of the home buying or selling age yet. So it's a generation that's going to have a profound impact on our industry. And one that will continue to shape the industry. Right? Now, we certainly feel that ERA is a brand that's on the right track. We're moving forward and we're leveraging our incredible momentum. And for us, it's about staying relevant and transforming the way we connect with this new generation of consumers. Right? And it's a generation that's empowered by technology and driven by community. So think of some of the generational changes and the things that have happened. We've gone from the backseat of a car and the MLS books and the sheets to an industry where your consumers are more informed and more empowered than they've ever been before. At the macro level, we no longer go online, we live online. I was looking at some statistics recently and read something that, I don't know if it's true or not, it wouldn't surprise me. It said that on average, we check our cell phones over 150 times a day. That number's probably understated, wouldn't you think? So think about that. If you're awake 16 hours, well, I think you're awake 18 hours, right? But if you're awake 16 hours, that equates to about once every 5 minutes you're on your phone. From reading the news, to going on your social communities, to looking up restaurants, making restaurant reservations. You conduct your life from your mobile phone. So it's really having a profound impact on the way we transact our business and connect with our consumers. Some other important shifts we're starting to see, and this ties back to this next generation of buyers and sellers. What we're seeing is that now for first-time home buyers, nearly 70% of first-time home buyers are millennials. And last year, a third of all home buyers were millennials. As you can see there to the right, 32%, with the median age of home buyers being 44. Now like Eb, I'm also a boomer. But I'll tell you that NAR will suggest that the average age of a realtor in the country is 57. The average age of the home buyer now is about 32. So there's a generational gap. And what we're doing with technology is transforming the way we connect. And we connect more effectively and more efficiently to reach this next generation of buyers and sellers. So some of the other things that we're seeing at a macro level is that consumer expectations are changing. The way we interact with consumers is changing. They're always connected. We talked about that. And it's not just the mobile phone. People go on multiple devices. I know I do. I'm watching TV, I'm on my phone, and I've got my iPad on my lap. You know, we're always connected, working across multiple devices, across multiple channels. We're texting, we're IMing, we're on social, we're on email. So think about the profound impact this is going to have on our industry and the way you connect with your consumers going forward. One of the key trends is personalization. Particularly millennials expect things to be personalized to them. So you think about our technology solutions, it's not about rolling out something that anybody can roll out. It's about establishing that personal connection, making it more relevant to your buyer or seller, and offering a more personalized experience from you to them. Right? One of the things we talked about is they are more informed and empowered than ever. We've got all the information in the world at the palm of our hand through that machine, Google. Right? Anything you want, you can find on Google. And importantly, one of the things we're seeing at a macro level is that new buyers and sellers seek services that simplify their decision. Right? So here's a macro trend that really impacts the way we conduct business. It's called hybrid service. Now, hybrid service is the blending of the online and the offline experiences. Right? It's the concept where your cell phone, now acts like the remote control for your life. You can order services like Uber or Lyft. You can do package delivery, shopping. You can get your groceries delivered to your home, all through the palm of your hand. And if you're single, dating from the palm of your hand, right? Swipe, 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 date. Right? How that works. So one of the things what's that?
You seem very familiar with that.
I got remarried last summer, so I'm no longer familiar with that. I'm no longer familiar with that. But one of the outputs to that, one of the things we see, is that consumers will now leave a service. 60% will leave the service if the online experience is not connected to the offline experience. So in real estate, this is how this works. The consumer begins their search experience, and it's a longer process than we might anticipate online. They do things like searching for homes, they browse property listings, and keep in mind, it starts with entertainment, then it becomes infotainment, then it becomes information seeking, then it goes further down the funnel to when people are serious. So this is a 12 to 18 month cycle. They start online, but then they finish offline with an agent. And this is where this notion of hybrid service has to be connected, where you have to add value closer to the point of sale. Unique, personalized, transparent value closest to the point of sale. And that's where you'll be able to connect with this next generation of consumers in more relevant ways. So when you look at it on a timeline, and again, the timeline is actually longer than this when it starts with entertainment and infotainment and that part of the process. But it starts online and it finishes offline with an agent. So we spend a lot of time thinking about generational trends and shifts in technology and consumer expectations and things like that. And one of the solutions over the last couple of years that was developed that we've talked about and you've been trained on is Zap. And Zap is the solution. And don't think of Zap as necessarily a website. This is the value proposition around Zap. But I highlighted a few key things. Zap is about building those long-term customer relationships. Engaging with those customers early, being transparent, offering a personalized experience, and then delivering to them what they need when they need it, based on their insights, based on the insights you gain from the system. For you, it's about driving efficiency, driving effectiveness, and ultimately being more productive. And that's a key thing. I'll spend a little time talking about that. As you know, ERA was the first brand in the industry to launch Zap. We were the first brand to connect ERA.com to hundreds and hundreds of broker sites, to thousands and thousands of agent sites into a single integrated network. And by doing so, we created a unique competitive position for the brand and for each of you. But it really starts with engagement. We'll talk a little bit about engagement. But since we launched Zap, just a year ago, we launched it at our IBC in 2016 in Orlando. We started to see some important shifts because we track and measure everything we do. Right? So since we launched the site last year, we've seen organic traffic, total traffic up 90%. So this is total web and mobile traffic. This is consumers coming to your site, unique visitors coming to the site, year over year up 90%. Now, importantly, we've seen organic traffic up 103%. So this is search engine optimized traffic, where people are looking for contextually relevant terms in the markets that you serve and the site coming up and being represented. We've also seen a 25% increase in page views and a related 10% increase in time on site, which are direct reflections of consumer engagement on the platform. The site is becoming more sticky. Now at the brand level, we also look at company level engagement and agent level engagement, as well as consumer engagement. And here's what we see across the brand. We see today about a third of all of our agents are active on the site. When I say active on the site, that means going onto the site more than once each and every month. So we track it month over month, and then we track it in aggregate. So about a third of our agents are active on the site. Those agents have entered in 27,000 property insights, which is a unique feature to the platform, and have sent nearly 500,000 customer emails. But one of the other key things that we track is consumer engagement, right? How do consumers engage with the site? So far we've seen about 1.2 million unique sessions by consumers, including 400,000 saved homes and over 110,000 showing requests. So these are consumers going to your sites saying, I want to see that home, and when can we schedule that showing? So these are consumers actively going on your site. Now at Wilkinson, what we do is we take a snapshot. Again, this is just a 4-week snapshot that was March. And here's what we see for Wilkinson. They had about 132 agents active on the platform in March, average logins 7 times a month, sending nearly 860 emails during the month. And on the client side, what we've seen, just in a 4-week period, 134 information requests from consumers, and 85 scheduled showings through the platform for those agents who are engaged on the platform, and 820 saved homes. So keep in mind, the platform is about building and nurturing those relationships. But one of the things, this is the most important metric. The metric for us that matters the most is the one that measures agent engagement and productivity. Right? And what we see, this is a year's view, is that those agents that are the most engaged in Zap have the highest increases in per person productivity. There is a direct correlation between you're going into the platform and utilizing the system the way it's designed to be used and a level of productivity. So the red bar across the middle is the NAR 2016 year-end size. So this is the industry average, up 3.9%. And then on the y-axis across the bottom, you'll see agents that logged in 0 to 1 time a month. They were actually down in productivity year over year, down nearly a point. If you log in 1 time, 7.3%, 6 to 10 times a month, 8.7%. And those that are the most engaged in the platform, year over year, we're up 12.2%. This is 3 times the national industry average, according to NAR. So there's a direct correlation between engagement and utilizing the platform and productivity. And that's really the only metric that matters, right? It's about growth and driving your productivity, developing tools and technology that enable you to grow your business. So that's what we're focused on. And for agents, you know, the key is really to commit to engaging on the platform. So your challenge this year, I think this is achievable for everybody in the brand, certainly for everybody in this room, is commit to re-engaging in the platform. Twice a week can make all the difference. Think about that, just twice a week. Whether it's a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Monday or a Friday, go in and enter in your clients, enter in your contacts, utilize the CRM, do the saved searches for your customers who are engaged in the platform, send out your referral links. Just start to engage in the system. And keep in mind, this is a relationship system. It's not always effective at the very end of the funnel. That's not where, this is where we want to get, obviously, but this is the way it works. We see that this is all about nurturing and incubating those leads over time. You get those customers in, you set them up on the saved search alerts, you let the system work it, you follow the insights, and when they're more ready to transact, that's when you can reach out with personalized services. We see that about half of all transactions convert within the first 6 months, and keep in mind, half convert later than 6 months. One of the terms I hear and I hate in this industry is, oh, that's a cold lead, or that's a dead lead, or a bad lead? Well, guess what? Somebody else is going to transact with that lead if you don't nurture and manage that relationship. So this is a platform that allows you to do that. So let's take a quick look at a short video that talks about some levels of engagement, how you can utilize the platform.
When we first started the Light It Up program, when Chris Trick first introduced it, we were the first one to raise our hand in the room and say we wanted to be involved.
Light It Up has been one of the most exciting partnerships we've had with ERA. Overall, we've generated about 7,000 net leads in a one-year period. We're converting right now just under 11% of our leads, so we're very happy with the amount of traffic and with the amount of conversions and the quality of the leads that we're getting.
I think what agents like most about Zap is that really it fosters a relationship between a buyer or a seller and the agent.
It's 100% communication. It's being very quick to respond. You know, I'm going to be setting you up on this platform. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to be able to send you properties and actually see what you're looking at. And when I see that, do you want me to call you, email you, or text you? It's really finding out preferred method of communication, and then it's easy from there. Once you do that, you know, it's basically like knowing their love language. It's knowing how to communicate with them, and then you let Zap do the rest.
I also had a client that moved here from out of town, and one night I got an email and I immediately started responding, and he actually was referred to another company, and they were not very proactive, and he ended up going with me, and I closed a deal with them. So I think it's all about being attentive quickly. Give them the attention that they need, and then stay with them.
One of the most significant changes we have made in our lead management process is now that we have the ability through Zap to go into each account and see what the consumer is doing every day, we're not putting them on a follow-up plan right away. We're waiting 90 days before we put someone on a follow-up plan, because in that first 90 days, we have the ability to make a personal connection with that person. We can see what homes they're looking at, what they're saving, what emails they've opened up, requests that they may have had, so we can respond in a very specific, relevant, and meaningful way and make a connection.
When a lead comes in from a millennial, one of our best practices is to just shoot them a text, and even if it says sent from iPhone at the bottom, it just makes it seem more human, more relatable, and they understand, okay, this isn't going to be a high pressure situation. I can relate to this person, ask them my questions.
If you log in and you use it consistently and you know the program and you understand the tools, there's no reason why you can't be successful.
Drop moment, right? There's no reason why you can't be successful with Zap. We have many, many more testimonials that we continue to post online, and best practices that we'll share, including some of the training that we'll do from Carissa and her team. So while we're starting to see a lot of positive indicators, one of the things I want you all to remember is that it's important to remember that the product is a process where learning and improvement happens every step of the way, and much of that, the vast majority of that improvement, is based on user feedback. It's what we call the agile development process, and it's the practice of bringing the user into the process of building the product. And so, as an example, over the last 3 months, we've introduced several new features specifically for agents based on agent feedback. We've made follow-up plans more flexible, now with longer touchpoint intervals. Now you can have intervals from 6 months up to a year, so when you don't need to reach out to them as frequently. We've also improved the visibility of your recommendations, your agent recommendations, so your customers will now see your home recommendations all over your website and all over your mobile site, including the two most important pages, your property details pages and your property and your search results pages. So increasing the visibility of each of you to your customers throughout the site. And one of the things we'll do is we'll continue to introduce new features and enhancements throughout the year. This is a high-level look at our roadmap. Some of the key things, and again, it's based on user feedback that we gain from agents, where we have a strategic effort focused on agent teams. We're working on enhancing our CRM platform with new, and one of the most requested features is the ability to add custom content. We'll be introducing a feature where we'll have company blogs and new ways for agents to go out and enter custom content to make the site more personalized and more relevant to your customers in your local market. And these are just a few of the changes that are on the roadmap this year. I don't know if you can all see that, but in marketing terms, This is what we call the holy cow slide. This is our product roadmap. 50 new product features and enhancements, what we call epics, the rest of this year alone. And you can see it's broken out by quarter. And you see some of the things that we're focused on. I'll send Eb a copy of this so he can distribute it to you. But keep in mind, because it's based on agile development, that means the roadmap continually evolves. So what we're working on in the current quarter is going to be executed. What we're working on in the outline quarters are subject to change based on user feedback and user input. And we continually do that. One way to have a voice in shaping the product and also learning the product and picking up best practices is to go to the community. The ZAP community, the ZAP knowledge base, has ongoing learning and information. It's got feature releases, news about best features, and it's a community of brokers and agents to ask questions, to share best practices, to share ideas, and to share ideas with us. We respond, meaning the brand and the ZAP Leads team responds directly to the feature requests. And we use that to help us prioritize what's on the roadmap. So if you haven't gone, please go to the ZAP community. It's in your dashboard under the knowledge base. It's a fantastic resource to stay up to date on many of the changes in ZAP. Now beyond ZAP, I don't want to make this all about ZAP. Beyond ZAP, we're also focused on enhancing our core technology suite and our marketing resources. Earlier in the listing presentation, you saw some information on the video microsites. Today, the video microsites are already one of the top referral sources of traffic to ERA.com. We talked about that 90% increase in traffic to the site. A lot of that is attributable to the distribution of your listing videos to a network of third-party sites, including our competitor sites. So when they see your listings that are distributed through the MLS to competitor sites, they click on the video, it brings them back to your site in a branded way. Now to capitalize on this trend, we're introducing a new feature this year called Social D. What Social D will do is automatically publish your listing videos to your social sites, to Facebook and your other social communities. So further extending and enhancing the reach of your listings. And it's a great way to go out in your listing presentations and talk to your customers about ways that you're going to uniquely market their property and expand the distribution of their listing. We're also enhancing our Distinctive Properties program. One of the things we're doing with Distinctive Properties, for those of you that have distinctive property listings, is we're expanding the reach of all those listings, now reaching a global audience. We're going to distribute those listings to over 50 countries around the world and hundreds of global websites. Again, think about the impact of international buyers in our country and where these buyers and sellers are coming from. So we're greatly expanding the reach of your Distinctive Properties market. One of the things that I'm really most excited about, we talked about this earlier. Ali talked about it in your listing presentation, Seller Security Plan. Boy, if you're not certified and you're not using this, you need to be. It is an ERA exclusive listing generating program that no other brand and no other agent in the industry can compete with. It is a guarantee to your seller that if you don't sell their home, that ERA will buy it. Ali mentioned we rarely buy homes. And the reason is, because if people do what they need to do to prepare their home to sell, if it's priced correctly and presented correctly with your support and an agent marketing it with the support and resources you have at your brand, guess what happens? It sells. We don't have to buy it. It sells. But it's a guarantee. It's a program that no other company or no other agent in the industry can go into a listing presentation and present your seller with a guarantee like that. So we're relaunching that program, and again, largely based on your input. Now, connecting it all together. I know there's lots of tools and technology and great ways to access the brand and all the resources. One of the things that we've heard for the last several years is comments on Team ERA. We will be relaunching and enhancing Team ERA. We'll be reintroducing it as leverage.era.com this summer. In June or July, the new TeamERA.com, which is leverage.era.com, is going to be built on and powered by the world-class Adobe platform. It is best-in-class technology. It's going to offer a more personalized, more relevant user experience, and importantly, for each of you, it's going to be mobile-enabled. So now you can access all your tools and resources and the things you need to do to transact and conduct your business, including the ZAP dashboard, all from your mobile device. And that's coming this summer to offer a more personalized experience for each of you. So let's talk about how we fuel your platform performance. And for us, this is our marketing and media strategy. And it's about connecting to this next generation of buyers and sellers at various stages. We talked about the various stages of that buy-sell cycle, right? We want to reach them at the early funnel and continue that relationship through stages when these buyers are receptive, when they're involved, and when they're ready.